Welcome back everybody, Dave here. Today we're doing a first impressions of the WR250R. This is a 2008 WR250R that I purchased a couple weeks ago here in town locally. So this is a new to me bike. Obviously it's not new, it's got some old tires on it. They are running it's the D606. It has a couple of upgrades to it. It's got handlebar risers, it's got, what else does it have? I don't even know what else it has. I mean, that's it. This is kind of like a shakedown ride. I had to do a couple things to get it roadworthy to be able to actually ride it. So this isn't the very first time that I've ridden it, but it's the first time that I'm going to ride it for any distance. Oh yeah, this throttle also needs to be worked on. It's kind of grady. The what do you call this? The throttle sleeve or the throttle tube? The throttle tube is all busted up, so we got to replace that and these grips. I don't really love the bottom waffle grips only. I'm going to try some of those Pro Taper Cloud grips or something. I hear those are good. So as long as I've been interested in dual sports, I've been wanting a WR250R. They just seemed so sweet. And man, this thing feels put together. It just feels like, it feels really good. It feels quality. One thing that I wasn't expecting was how loud the stock exhaust is. This does have a stock exhaust, but I'm not sure how well that's gonna come through, but it's kind of loud. I'm definitely wearing earplugs every time I ride this thing. One of the things that I really miss is on the cluster is a tachometer. I do miss a tachometer, but you can kind of get around that. I want to show you what it's like without a tach. Let's go down at first, and we'll just hit the rev limiter. So 25 miles an hour rev limiter, 38 miles an hour rev limiter in second gear. So that's what I did to kind of get around the tach. I was really frustrated that I didn't have a tach for the first couple of rides until I just hit the rev limiter on it. The crazy thing about this bike is that, okay, let's talk about the Grom first. So with the Honda Grom, if I get close to the rev limiter on a Honda Grom is 9,200 RPM. As soon as I hit about 8,200 RPM, I can start to feel the bike shake. It feels like it's gonna shake apart the closer I get to 9,200 RPM. This bike doesn't do that. It doesn't really give you any indication that you're hitting the rev limiter. It just revs to the moon, and it feels like you could just keep going forever. There's no additional vibration. There's no, it just goes, and it's pulling harder and harder and harder until it goes, oh, you're at 10,000 RPM. You should probably shift, and it bumps into the rev limiter. So just me defining, okay, 25 miles an hour is the rev limiter in first gear, 38 miles per hour is the rev limiter in second gear, with my gearing, which is a 1348, so I do have adjusted gearing from stock. Stock is 1343, so I'm 5 teeth more in the rear, so I've got a little bit more torque, a little bit less top speed, and I love the way this thing is geared so far. I really do enjoy it. I was out here on my e-bike just the other day, and this is very different. It feels great. It feels so great. It feels so planted. Let's go up here. Little hill climb. Let's see how we do. This thing loves to rev, man. The motor is going to take some getting used to, and the gearing. It doesn't like being super low. And my KLX, it loved the tractor. That was one of the things it did so well. This thing bogs a little bit when you get too low, so you got to keep the revs up just a little bit more, which is one of the reasons I went with the gearing that I went with. Everyone said the gearing was a little off from the factory, and they're probably right. I've actually never ridden this with stock gearing. I've only ridden it with this adjusted gearing. But I really enjoy it so far. It's been really nice. I really like not having wraparound bars. I was listening to a guy, and apparently why a lot of the motocross guys don't have wraparound bars is because you can get your arm stuck in it. You can break your arm. I never thought about that. If you're unlocked. Oh gosh, this thing pulls so hard once you get up into higher RPMs. It's crazy. A lot harder than I'm anticipating because it's totally normal, and then you hit like 9,000 RPM or I don't know, 8,000 RPM or something, and it just goes, ah! And it's so amazing. I'm gonna really like this bike, I think. Okay, so here we are. 48 tooth in the rear, looking nice. We finally got this back, so this is protecting my swing arm now. Should be good for 12,000 miles or something. Got the Speedo DRD, so we have an accurate speedometer. That's great. Got these little bark busters. Yeah, front tire looks pretty good. It's just old. Rear tire looks pretty good. It's just old. I think this comes with a cover from the factory. It's got some scuffs here and there, but really all the tubing and stuff, it feels like it hasn't actually been out in the sun too much. So it does look really nice. It looks so much better than my KLX 250S. You probably can't tell from here. So my KLX, it was all dinged up around the rims. Everything was kind of broken on it, and it was just really kind of rough. This one, you can tell it's been down, you know, a few times, like any dirt bike, but I mean, with 13,000 miles, it just feels like it's mostly been a road bike most of its life. It's a sweet bike. It looks great. Let's get moving so we won't overheat it. Let's test the brakes out just a little bit, okay? I was having a hard time with the front brake. I can totally... Let's see if I can lock up the front brake. Because I could not lock it up before. Yeah, I can lock it up, no problem. We're on some loose gravel, but it's so much better than before. I'm just roosting. That was awesome. Gotta put a little bit more faith in that front tire. It is slipping, but it's also grabbing. As long as I just adjust. Yeah, climbing is so comfortable on this thing. Second gear. Oh man, it's so good. I do feel like the stock gearing would be so tall. I would have to just float between second and first. Pretty sure. Oh man, my body position is not great. I keep falling back and falling forward, hanging onto the handlebars for dear life. Oh, I'm gonna have to get used to this. Wow, I do like it. Okay, so to wrap up, I really like this bike. It feels so good off-road. It feels so at home. It's different. It's a different feeling bike than the KLX. And not in a bad way. I think I'm gonna miss my KLX low-end grunt for sure, 100%. Because that thing could tractor up anything, and it was so easy to ride. This requires, it's a little different. It requires something else. You gotta be a little bit more aggressive, it feels like, a little bit more deliberate on what you wanna do. But it has such supple suspension that you can adjust, fully adjustable in the front, I believe in the rear as well. The rear feels great. I don't know, I'm not a suspension guy, like I've said before. Super impressed with the suspension so far. Super impressed with the bike. Seems awesome. And I'm gonna leave this as is in terms of the handlebars. I like the bar risers. I like these little blue brush guards. I think it works really well. I like being able to put my hand off of the grip a little bit if I want to be a little bit wider. Like if I'm just cruising, it actually feels really comfortable to move my hand around, get it halfway off the grip. Oh, I love riding on roads like this so much more than I do on my e-bike. My e-bike sucks at this kind of thing. It's just so apparent when you ride this. Oh, let's try and do another wheelie. That was fun. Gotta just dump the clutch. Oh, so fun. Here's a little soft stuff. We're in third gear. Just need to remind myself. Yeah, definitely third gear. Whew. This rear tire locks up so easily. I gotta be really careful with that because I'm locking it up so ridiculously easily. It's okay in second gear. You just have to really give it a lot more gas than I think I do. I think I'll get used to it, but it's going to take some time. It's definitely going to take more time than riding the KLX. The KLX came pretty natural. This one is going to take a little time. Well, that's really the shakedown. Nothing really happened to mess it up. Oh man, it's so good. Feels great. Feels awesome. Ride's amazing. So that's my initial impressions on the WR250R. I think it's an awesome bike. I really think it's amazing for what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.